On behalf of the Social Secretaries Summit Forum, we welcome you to the second in the series of knowledge sharing events. If you are joining us for the first time, you are most welcome. If you are joining us for the second time, welcome back, folks. We are very, very grateful for your time. I apologize again for the delay in starting. We had some technical issues. So my name is Dayo Akwade, and I will be your moderator for this evening. Moderating with me today is Akogun Niyikuku from St. Finbar's College, Old Boys Association, Europe. You are very welcome, Ni. How are you doing?
I'm very fine. You
Good.
said Akogu. I am not Akogu. I am Akogu.
I knew, I practiced. If you know how long I practiced that, I am so sorry. Akogun.
No, it is okay. Akogu.
Akogun. Akogun.
Yes.
Akogun.
Niyikuku from St. Finbar's College, the best school in Nigeria.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm not sure MG girls are going to take that.
We just let we just let you run with it.
Okay, let it ride. Let it ride.
We just
worry.
let that ride. Niyi,
Yes,
could you
I'm
just
your
go through the rules for this evening?
Yes, I was just coming to that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to this second edition of our very enlightening and, we have some rules, to help us go through this session very well. And rule number one is for you to kindly put your microphones on mute. This is to cut out the background noises, and it enables others to listen in. Now, the host will try to mute everybody, but it helps, if you help us by muting yourselves. Yes, thank you. Secondly, there will be a question and answer session. And if you have any questions for the contributors, please help us by inserting your question in the chat. Thirdly, if you have a specific question for the contributors, please indicate which contributor you would like your question to be put to. Now, if you also want to ask a question, you can use the put your hand up. There's a facility there, on Zoom that you can use to put your hand up function. And then, wait for the moderators to call you before you unmute yourself. I hope this is clear to everybody. If it is clear, I thank you very much for your cooperation. Daya, over to you.
Thanks, Ni. So today we're examining the question, are alumni associations effectively engaging their younger members? And we have contributors examine various aspects of this question. We are hopeful that this will stimulate conversations within your respective alumni, within your organizations, even within your homes. So Judge Benson, in the song, The Greatest Love of All States, I believe that children let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us as it used to be. Ni, do you want to sing the song?
Of course, I'll try.
Please.
Go on then.
I believe that the children are the future.
Oh, please no.
Treat them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
Jason.
Give them a sense of pride. Well, that's why I couldn't win when I went to X Factor. I hope you got the gist. Anyway.
Okay, we'll stop you there. We'll stop you there.
Okay.
Okay, do you want to take the next segment, Ni?
Oh, yes. To kick off this August occasion, we have our the lady that does not get tired at organizing things, and that's in person of Ayotola Ayeni from MGHS Girls.
Okay.
Over to you, Tola.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Like you've heard, my name is Tola Ayeni, the Social Secretary alongside Yetunde Fakara of Methodist Girls High School, the highly acclaimed Methodist Girls High School, OGA UK. And we, the members of the Social Secretary Summit, are really proud. We are delighted to present this very interesting program. Okay, it's a second virtual event. And for those of you who do not know anything about the Social Secretary Summit, we're actually just a group of people who have that responsibility of organizing events on behalf of the alumni. It's our role to, build up relationships within and across alumni. And we, take it upon ourselves to celebrate ourselves, empower ourselves. We learn about the practice of being effective communication, effective communicators, effective social secretaries, and so on. Now we go to town just to celebrate ourselves, and we keep our forum really lively. Recently, though, a question came up on our forum, and I think it must have been Mr. Bouncer that was responsible. I hold him responsible for it. Where is he? Let's see his face. He was the one that put that question on the forum. He said, how are we preparing for that? We're getting old, though. How are we actually preparing for the next generation? And somebody said, hey, before you talk about handing over to the next generation, what about actively involving the younger generation? Then another person picked up, what do you mean by young? How young is young? What is young? And the conversation went on and on. And when we then decided, okay, let's see what other alumni think. So let's come together to have a cross-generational, discussion about this. And here we are today. And I am hoping that by the end of today, we would have something concrete, to agree on, or some kind of strategy to take back to our alumni. So I just want to thank everybody, everyone who has made today possible, everyone. I want to thank you for being here. And I would like you to really sit back and enjoy today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tola. So today's program has been broken down. So the question has been broken down into various sections. It's just to help us thoroughly examine the issue. So we have contributors looking at the current state of play, looking at the strategy for recruiting young members, looking at how we actually encourage the younger ones. Once we've recruited them, we have to make sure that they stay and don't leave after the first meeting. And also looking at how the importance of having younger ones in the life of the alumni. So we have various contributors, and you're very welcome today. So before we start, we're going to set the scene. So a long time ago, when you get essays, the first thing you have to do is define certain keywords. Now, I know we were all referred to as old. I think I'm relatively young. So what we need to do is define what we mean by the younger ones. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick on certain people to give me what their definition is within their alumni of a younger person. Can I have Buki Durojaye, the president of Methodist Girls High School Old Student Association? Could you unmute yourself, please?
Good evening.
Good evening, Buki. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, thank you
for organizing this. And hopefully, we'll all get something out of it.
Okay, thank you. So how would you define the younger ones?
I'm young, and I believe you're young. Anyone
definitely young.
Yes, exactly. Anyone who is young at heart. I'm young at heart, and I believe everyone is young at heart. Anyone who is on the social media, who is related to one social media or the other, I refer them as young. Anyone who dresses funky and doesn't want to look their age, they are young. Anyone who can relate with anyone, respect and have a discussion with anyone, I believe is a young person. I'm young, and I believe every one of us are young.
Is young.
Everybody on this forum is young.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I've seen you guys matching along at various events. So yes, I believe that you are young. And if you are young, that means I'm a baby.
No, you're not a baby. You're a young lady as well. And I could see somebody asking a question what's the age? Age is just a number.
Okay.
Age is a number. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Nee, do you want to take the next person?
Yes. But before I do that,
and I can't hear anything.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
All right, okay. Before I do that, can I please ask everyone to enter the year they left secondary school in the chat box, just to see the youngest living, set we have. I do appreciate what Buki said regarding, being young at heart. But what we are looking at is not really so much about that alone. We are looking at, those that came later, those that entered the secondary school at later years than many of us. So if you can please put the year date, your year date. Oh, that's good. I can see Toyin Shoson here. That's 1980. Well done. So we want to see, the youngest. Oh, well, Remy Coyote, 81, Tokumbo, 84. 99. Oh, don't
see,
oh
96.
Wow.
I can see 96.
Yeah.
I
Interesting.
saw 43.
Okay. 81. 81. Please continue to do this.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Fantastic.
May I use this opportunity to remind you again that there will be a question and answer session at the end. So please insert any questions within the chat function and someone will pick these up. So, 1989, that's good. Yomi, that's good. Jovita, all right, okay, Tutu. Well, we're looking at the year that you actually left your alumni, your secondary school. 82, Yomi, 89. Any younger person?
When did you leave? Because I know you left in the 70s.
I beg your pardon?
It is the 70s now.
You make me feel so old, man. Well, yeah, you can regard that as the 70s, but I left in 78, which is, still quite, 70. I left in, it's still in but it's late 70s. So I'm not that, what you think. 82. So I left in 78. Well, I was supposed to leave in 77, but something happened. My dad just said, no, guy, you're too young to go up. Stay put. 76, Augustus.
That's been Bob Babaride. He left in 76 O levels.
Oh, wow. Any young guys, any young ladies?
Anyone the year 2000, 2001, 2002,
Yeah.
2003.
Book it by Pastor everyone. Okay. 77 and a half. Well, you might be right, yeah. Don't forget that in those days, there were 2 periods that you can enter the secondary school. I think it was January and then June. So luckily, I took advantage of that. So I didn't mind when my dad said, okay, guy, you want to do medicine, your chemistry is not that good, go back and do it. And that's it. All right. So we don't have anybody in year 2000s.
No, we do not. Therein lies the problem.
Yeah.
Therein lies the problem. So there is a problem. There is a problem.
Okay. Well, like I was saying earlier, the question and answer session will be at the end. So please insert any question within the chat function, and then definitely somebody will pick it up. And if you wish to address any questions directly to the contributor, kindly indicate within the chat as well. Okay. Okay. Bookie, they are busy looking after their young ones. That's good. Now, we're now going to call on the president of Our Lady. Well, can we set the ball rolling now?
Yes, we can. Is Kemi Ogunbanjo on?
On yet? Let's scroll
Can any
through.
one of the hosts please check that Kemi Ogunbanjo is on? We have 65 participants at the moment. She is, okay.
Hello, Kemi. All right.
Can you unmute yourself, Kemi?
Before you do that, maybe I should just quickly, call her in. So we're going to call on the current president of Our Lady of Apostles, All Girls, that's Ola, to take the first session. She'll be talking about the current state of play, the alumni's view. So Kemi Ogunbanjo, please take the floor. Femi.
Okay, I can see that she's trying to unmute herself. I can see her.
All right, okay.
We cannot hear you.
Maybe.
Okay.
I can't see Kemi yet.
Yeah, she is unmuted. I can see her, but she cannot hear.
Okay. In that case, should we go on to the next contributor?
Well, what I'll do, yes, we'll do that. Is Tunde Tabi.
I saw him earlier.
Tabi,
I'm available. Can you hear me?
Okay. Just before we welcome our next person, Tunde Tabi, I just wanted to say congratulations to the CMS Old Grammarians on the occasion of their 161st Founders Day celebrations.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your presence. We've sent out our thanks to everybody who participated.
Yes, I had you guys fajid till the following day.
Yeah, we were on till about 12 midnight. Yeah, till about 12:30. Yeah.
Okay, well done. Thank you so much. Up school.
Oh well.
Up boys. Of course. Up Fimbers.
No. Fimbers joint. This is not.
You don't say anything.
When I heard the St. Fimbers guy called the school his best school in Nigeria, I felt well. I don't know how to interpret that. Well, I'm currently the Assistant Secretary General of the OGS UK.
Went to Fimbers?
Say again?
Was he at Fimbers first?
I was never at Fimbers now.
Okay, all right.
It's clear that he was never. Okay, do you want to kick us off this evening?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I've been asked to speak on the current state of play. Well, by way of introduction, I'm Tunde Tabi, and I'm currently the Assistant Secretary General of the OGS UK. Earlier, I'd served as the Deputy Secretary General of the national body. So I want to say that I'm quite conversant with this, with what I've been asked to speak about. But I want to start by looking at it from a historical point of view. Right from the time you get into CMS Grammar School, you are made to feel a part of the old students inadvertently. Normally, it's not planned for, but you are meant to you are made to be a part of the old boys, because you are always seeing the old boys coming to the school, mentoring you. The Founders Day of the school in Lagos, national body, is usually handled by the old boys. We have said celebrating 25 years. We provide meals on that day. At the prize giving day, you will always find an old boy coming to cheering the occasion, and another old boy taking the guest lecture. So by the time you get to Form 4 or Form 5, then I was in the GS or SS class, so I can only talk about Form 1 to 5. By the time you get to Form 5, a lecture will be held for, that will hold a lecture an old grammarian telling you about the school and what is expected of you as an old boy of the school. Now, the Constitution of the Old Grammarian Society is written in such a way as to encourage you to participate in the activities of the Old Grammarian Society. When you leave school, you have the right, if you can afford it, you have the right to stand for an election. So no grammarian is excluded from participating in the activities of the Old Grammarian Society right from the time you leave school. But of course, what we normally find is that guys who have to go to the university will have to get themselves together before they start participating in the activities of the grammar school. But in no way is anybody excluded from participating in the affairs of the Old Grammarian Society. Now, coming to the current state, what we have in the OGS UK, for example, is this. Those who attended our virtual Founders Day would remember the guy that took the second lesson. The guy that took the second lesson, apart from the fact that he was bereaved in a couple of days before the activity, he still had time to come and take the second lesson. He's a very young old boy. He left the school in I think he left in 1991 or 92. That is to show you that we don't exclude anybody. Nobody's excluded from participating in activities that's got to do with the OGS. So what we've done here is to make, what we've also done is to make sure that people can contest for any position in the OGS UK, just like we have it in the national body. You can participate, or you can stand for an election if you are interested. All you need to do is to be interested, because why no position has been assigned to them. Yeah, no position has been assigned to them. If you want to be president, even if you left school left school last year, you can still come on and be the president. No one is in the constitution. Our constitution does not exclude anyone from taking up any post. For example, our current social sec is a young good boy. The financial secretary is a very young good boy. And one other person is a very young good boy. So even at the national level, yeah, the second lesson at our service is usually taken by the senior prefect of that school. So the presence of old boys at every point in time during your stay in school prepares you for taking part, or for willing to take part in the affairs of the old boys. So there's a conscious effort by Mr. John Emore, who's our president, to bring in the young old boys. And he has a slogan that he calls "One Grammarian." As a matter of fact, the DJ we had at the last virtual meeting, virtual Founders Day, was, I think, left school in the 90s too. So its belief is that whatever a grammarian can do, we shouldn't give it to an outsider to do. That's his belief. That's why he has this slogan that he calls "One Grammarian." So while I won't say we've had a conscious effort to bring in the young good boys, no one is excluded from participating in our activities. Once you're a grammarian, you are expected to take part in the activities of the old boys. And that is why, like I told you, we have guys who are younger grammarians that are holding positions in the national body and in the UK.
Okay, you have 1 minute left, Tunde.
Well, I guess I've finished. I guess I've said it all.
Okay.
I've said
Thank
it all,
you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can I just advise that questions will be taken at the end of the session, and can I just remind you again to mute yourself? We are still getting some feedback. If you mute yourselves, then we can actually hear the contributions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tunde. Is Kemi back on?
Kemi, have you unmuted yourself
Going to try
yet?
and log in again.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I can see that she's still logged on here.
yeah, she was going to, she sent me a message. Okay, all right, we'll move on and come back to her,
Okay.
just so that we can get through it all. So the next contributor, the next two contributors will examine the strategy for recruiting younger members into the alumni. Tunde mentioned that anybody can be a member of the alumni from the time that they leave school. The one thing you need to take into account is when they leave secondary school, they still have some more education to do. You need to do your A-levels, go to university. And the one thing you don't want to be doing is asking your parents for subscriptions to your alumni, if you know what I mean. And that probably has an impact on young members, but we need to know what the strategy is for actually actively recruiting people from a younger age. So please welcome Gladys Lawson, who is the, oh, I'm sorry, it's not Gladys.
Well, it's
Lee,
okay.
I think you were supposed to take that one, weren't you?
Well, that's why I was looking at you.
Yeah, I was not making eye contact. See, this visual thing is
It's
a little bit funny. Okay,
well,
I'll let you introduce the next person.
Okay, the next person, is from Reagan Memorial Girls, All Girls Association, and in person of Abum Okafor. Please, let's all welcome Abum. Abum, are you on? Yes, you're on. You can please unmute yourself. Abum. Yes, thank you, Abum. You can take the floor now.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm not sure what I'm saying. So the question is, are the younger generations involved? Of course, from the roll call that we did a couple of minutes ago, it's obvious the answer is no. I think the youngest person on this call probably finished or left school in '96. And
that is correct, yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, anyone that left school in '96 should be in their late 30s. 38 probably would be the youngest you would be, even if you left school at 14 or 13, which is impossible. So we're looking at that person to be 39 or 40. And that's not young. That's not young at all. So obviously, for us to be asking these questions and from the little exercise we've done, we have answered the question that we are not actively involving the younger ones.
Oh, we've got 98, 97 set now. Well done. Sorry to bump in.
Hello?
Hello.
Carry on, Abum.
Abum.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I can't hear myself. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, so what that means is that the youngest person is probably around the age. A speaker, I think Tunde Alabi, said something about the younger generations in their sets, 92, 93, we're still saying the same thing. And I think it's the notion we have that someone in their late 30s is young. If you're in your late 30s, you are not young. I think we need to actively start to involve the guys that are 25 and between 25 and 35 conservatively. Strategies abound. So many things we can do. We need to start thinking beyond just social gatherings. We need to start thinking beyond alumni reunions because, I mean, really, I don't want to spend a Saturday hanging with people way older. We literally got nothing to talk about, to be honest. Some of us do this because of the love we have for the school, but there's as much we can do. So we may want to start shifting towards things that would interest this younger generation. We may want to start thinking about role-based networking events. We may want to start relying on technology like I think Facebook has got something like that, where you can begin to unlock social media insights. You can begin to look at the age demographics, and you can begin to look at what interests them. Of course, it's a no-brainer that anyone between 25 and 30, 35 would definitely be interested in career, business, raising a family, and things like that. So if I know that I'll come to an alumni event and I'll learn something that would help my career, help my business, or help me to, lead my family or something, I would definitely want to come. If I know, for example, that I'm going to come there and listen to someone talk about job opportunities or business opportunities, I will come. If I know that I'll leave school for it, another thing we might need to do is to start actively recruiting these guys. And by that, I mean recruiting them from the school, right from when they are in school. What do I mean? And this is just a suggestion. For example, you go to Methodist Boys High School, look at the guys that are actively involved in social activities. Those are the target groups. Get them involved in the alumni activities that we have. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. It probably will happen with the guys in Nigeria. But attend these guys in SS2, SS3, just with the permission of their parents. Attend 1 or 2 alumni events and they are showcased or they are made to participate. They are now involved. By the time they leave school, a year or 2 later, they probably may want to come on their own. By the time they come and they know that, someone can speak to them about choice of university, choice of career path, things like that. Of course, they would want to come because they are getting value. They are getting value. So I think these are things that we may want to begin to look at. We may also want to look at lifestyles of these guys. The trend now is everyone wants to go into IT or maybe football or whatever. So alumni associations can leverage on this lifestyle or interest and then use that to lure them in, because that's what you're doing. You're going to lure them in. Another thing you might want to do for guys that are already in members of the association but not actively involved, because that's what happens in some associations. You have guys that are young or youngish, but they don't want to do anything. Sometimes they don't even want to come to meetings for various reasons, probably too far. They've got a family, they've got 2 or 3 kids running around. I don't want to be running around meetings with 3 kids, things like that. I think that if some alumni, this is another suggestion. For example, you have it in your alumni constitution or whatever. Whoever is going to be the maybe secretary or something should be someone from a certain year. So what that means is you are intentionally giving these guys an opportunity to be involved. You are intentionally giving them an opportunity to be involved. And of course, with constant involvement, you start to build interest. You start to get used to it. It then becomes a habit. You start to bring in friends. Like, okay, I'm doing this for this association. Come and join me. This, that. That's another thing that we may begin to look at for the prep for succession.
Okay, you have 1 minute left.
Actually, have nothing else to say.
Okay. You've covered a multitude of points. Fantastic.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Is Gladys Lawson? So Gladys Lawson is the Vice President of Methodist Girls High School Old Student Association, and she is going to give her own take on the same issue in relation to strategy for recruiting younger members. Can we have Gladys, please? Can we spotlight Gladys?
Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Okay, so my take is slightly different. What I've done is I've followed the structures and the broken down the questions. I followed that pattern. So I agree with Abam completely. You definitely need to have a strategy, and I think the strategy must be intentional as well, because I think as well that people need to be aware. So old students need to be aware. Yes, we go on to university and other educations, but I think there is a foundation in your secondary school, and we need to, from the ground, understand what the alumni do. We were fortunate in MG that we saw people coming in, they were bringing things that we were aware that, oh, who are these people? They're old girls. Okay, that's good. Then they're bringing this thing in today. and it inspires you. I was recruited at a very early age to join Methodist Girls High School, in that my grandmother went to the school and she just sold it to me from the beginning, and it was like, you have to go to that school. So I think
okay, sorry. Hello, could you all mute yourself, please, because we will struggle to hear.
If you draw this, right, you see.
Okay, there is someone who, okay.
yeah.
Carry on, Gladys. Apologies for that.
No problem. Okay, so making students in the school aware, I think we need to get them when they're young, making them aware, and that at least gives them a taste for when they leave school, that, okay, there is an alumni, this is something that we can be part of. I think the alumni needs to be seen as something important. Our school motto in MG is in love, serve one another. And I think that's the ethos, that's what we were brought up with, that, you know, at the end of the day, you quarrel, you fall out, but that is our motto. So, you know, get on with the program and move on. And I think it's just about showing the benefits of the alumni as well. There's so many ways you can do that by, as I said, the way that people give back. We actually have a give back thing that we do in school as well. So it's engaging them quite young. It's making the alumni attractive. It's showing sisterhood or brotherhood for the boys' school or mixed studenthood. It's showing what the achievements of the alumni are. I think we need to advertise, promote what we do. It's so important because people just think it's about paying dues, and that's not the case. I think as well, it's about making sure people contribute, but show them that they're not just contributing by paying dues. You know, look for what gifts, what talents they have, what occupations, can they actually come together and help our children that want to do certain things. So I think it really is engaging people and getting them quite early. And then I just think in terms of publicizing the alumni, we currently have a really active Facebook page. We have WhatsApp groups. We actively go out to find people from our school and just say, okay, what set were you in, and get those sets together. I'm 81, 82. We've got so many people in our group, you know, but we've got different sets, and we come together on things like the AGM, where we publicize the alumni as well. We have our Founders Day. We have our Lit Day, which everybody is aware of. So things like that, they publicize the alumni and they show what we're doing. And I think as well, it is about engaging. We've got to engage not just with ourselves, but with the younger people as well. We actually have a lot of word of mouth. So do you know anybody? Did your sister go to MG? You know, do you know anyone that went to MG that wants to be part of the group? And one thing we have that we do on our UK platform, which is really good, as soon as a new member joins, everybody just gets on board and welcomes them. So it just encourages them to that, you know, you're part of a family. In terms of advertising the alumni, we have things like, as I mentioned, some of the activities, but we have newsletters. We've got this awesome e-mag coming out that Tola's managing and Yeti in the next couple of weeks. So we have a lot of engagement within the alumni, and we try and push that out so people can see what we're about. So I think the next aspect, according to my questions that I was given, was what is the role of the school? So I'm taking this to mean, what is the role of MG? So for me personally, I believe that the school has to be acceptive of the people that want to come in and help. They can't dictate to you or dictate to us as old students. We have to work together. We fortunately have a fantastic headmistress that's currently there, and she's very engaging. I've gone there myself. I've taken my children to the school. She's so engaging and she's so welcoming of the old girls to come back and give back. And for, one thing that we had in terms of advertising.
I'm sorry, please continue.
Please, can you kindly mute yourselves, please?
Okay, continuing. So,
I'm sorry.
that's okay, no, these. Okay, so in terms of the role, just continuing, in terms of the role of the school, I think it's so important that we have access to the school. As I said, I took my children down there with my mom, my brother, and we all, you know, we're talking to the young ladies there and saying, I was here in the 80s, you know, I started in the 70s. And it just, and you know, what do you do now? And it's just, that was a simple thing. But I know that our old girls go and they have talks, they have productions. There was a fantastic production for the 140th year anniversary last year that we had, where we had Tola's older sister that You know, she actually used the students in the school to do that production. That was amazing. And that just even inspires them to want to be part of something when they leave, because that's the whole thing. If people can't connect, they're not going to want to join any alumni. You know, all they'll think about is, when I was in school, this person used to bully me, why should I join? But I think you get to a stage where you, like me, your 50s, you're like, do you know what? That was then, this is now. What can I do? What can I give back? And I think we have to encourage people with that ethos. That is something that we have to drum into these girls in school now, to say, look, you're in this school, you're blessed to be here. When you leave, in your 20s, you might not have the time, but just, you know, look at the newsletters, see what you can do, see how you can encourage a young person that wants to come into what you're gifted in, and you can help and support them. So there's so many ways you can do it. I think you have to be positive when you do this, because you're going to get a lot of kickbacks and knockbacks. So you have to be positive, and you have to just keep going, and you have to know that it's not about you, it's about what you're trying to do. You know, you're trying to keep encouraging girls to give back, and you're trying to keep encouraging women as you get older to unite, to work together. Just digressing a little bit, we had 2 really great talks recently. Because of COVID, we can't go anywhere, so we had this on Teams. Amazing talks that we probably wouldn't have had if we were, you know, allowed to go out. So I think, and the number of people that subscribed actually showed how strong the alumni is. And something like that, you can feed that back to the school and say, look, this is what we did, this is what we're doing, and we want you to be engaged. And I think in terms of getting the younger ones, the 20-year-olds, the 30-year-olds, it's again, just pushing that information out there. This is what we did, this is what we're doing, this is what we want you to engage with us in. So we just have to keep pushing. I'm just going to quickly go on. I'm conscious of time.
You have, you have literally 1 minute left.
1 minute left.
1 minute. Okay, no worries. So, are existing students encouraged to attend alumni activities? Existing students, I mentioned that we had this theatre production. So yes, that's an example, a great example where we had current students in the school taking part in something that an old girl created, invented, produced. That was amazing. We still have things like computer clubs and things like that, that old people come in, old girls come in and run. So yes, we really engage. And I want to just flip that question around a bit. In terms of ladies that have left, that are out there, that don't know that there is an MG alumni out there, I think we have to really encourage them, get that word out somehow, be it news magazines or, you know, whatever we do, but we have to get it out there, because I think, especially COVID has shown, I mean, I'm fortunate I've been going to work, but there's been a loneliness that if we didn't have this alumni, if we didn't have each other, I know, you know, a lot of people have said that, God, they wouldn't know what they would have done. Yeah. You know, and some people don't have family here, so they need the alumni. They need to know that, okay, the money that they're giving, it's actually going back to helping Nigeria. We're doing so many things to help. And, you know, the best thing in life is to give. And whether it's your time, it's your money, it's your kindness, your love, whatever it is, give. And I think that's what the alumni stands for. And that's how we have to grab these people that are out there that don't know about alumni. We have to promote ourselves, promote what we're doing, and show the, you know, the works that we're doing as sisters, as brothers, as I said, or as joint school, you know, students, all students. Okay. So it's possible, it's doable. We need to get together and do it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is Kenny back on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm on my phone, so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm on my phone. So
that's fine. You're welcome, Kemi. So,
thank you. Apologies. I really don't know what's been going on, but apologies.
It's all right.
Okay. Do you want to anything to tell us?
Okay. Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dione, for the moderating, and thank you, Tola, for inviting me to make a contribution to the discussion. I'm going to start off with, I think a lot of what I was probably going to say has already been said, but I thought I would start out by saying that considering, if we consider ladies that finished secondary school in the 70s, it would mean that people who finished in the 80s will be the younger ones. And likewise, you know, people who finished in the 80s will look at the people who finished in the 90s and 2000s as the younger ones. So we need to put it into perspective when we're talking about the younger ones. And I like that the younger in the topic is in inverted commas. But I think for the purpose of this discussion, I think we're concentrating on students who finished secondary school in the 90s, so between 1990 and 2000. Yeah. And what I've seen is that it's, well, our alumni is quite encouraging since I've been president, that we have about 20 members that are within that bracket. And I'm even saying 1990, the youngest one is 1996. And the, no, sorry. So the oldest one, if that makes sense, is 1996. And the youngest one is 2002. Wow. So we have a lady who is 2002, and she's a member of the alumni. And she contributes when we have birthdays, because we celebrate each other's birthdays, and most of so we have like a range of 1996, 97, 98, 93, I think is the probably the oldest one. And, you know, so it goes across the board. And when we have birthdays, we put it, each person's birthday on the official WhatsApp group, and almost everyone, no matter what year they are, will wish that person a happy birthday. And I think what I've tried to promote is that, as some, I think it was Abum who mentioned that people who finished in 1990 or 1996 are now in their, they could be in their 40s.
Hello.
Hello, Flora. Sorry, I'm calling again.
Okay.
Sorry, can you please mute yourself? That person receiving the call.
Right now, if you are called this,
we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please carry on.
Okay. Yeah. So, it's just occurred to me, 1996 is 24 years ago. So you need to, as I said, you need to put things into perspective. We have these ladies that have finished in, you know, 24, 25, you know, years ago, are now in their 40s. They're business women. They're, you know, they're professionals, and we do sometimes have a little bit of problems with them attending meetings, because yes, their children will probably be younger in relation to people who had finished, you know, 30, 35 years prior. But what we try and do is, when we're having like our Founders Day that we had last year, we had it so that it was a family one, so they could bring their children. So it wasn't just them that were going to attend. So that way it encouraged them to come to the activity, the Founders Day. The other thing that we've got is we have a welfare officer who is 1998, and she decided, when we're looking for welfare officers, and we have 4 welfare officers, and she volunteered, and that is a 1998 lady. And as I said, the 2002 lady, she has an events company. And when we were, unfortunately, it's not taking place anymore, but when we're setting up our planning committee for our event in October, she was, I approached her, and she was willing to be a member of the planning committee. So that way, I think it works both ways. And as most of you probably know, 1996 is the year of my social secretary, Jumoke Brown. So you can see that there's quite a mix that we have. And what I've also tried to promote is respecting everyone's opinion. Because I think what the younger generation were finding it a little bit difficult, because, you know, we come from a society where it's senior so-and-so, senior so-and-so, and, you know, they sometimes felt as if, well, the feedback that I've had from some of the younger ones is that they really can't speak up and, you know, say what they want to say. But I encourage them to speak up, to say what they want to say. You know, I mean, Jumoke definitely says what she wants to say when we have our meetings. So it's a case of we respect everyone in the alumni, irrespective of when you finished. And it's a way to encourage everyone, where we what's it called? We set up a Zoom meetings just during this period when it was really, really difficult, when, you know, and we'll have, of the probably 15 to 20 people who call in, we'll have probably about 3 or 4, you know, younger ones that will call in. And what I tend to do on those meetings, well, I called them catch up, was to ask each person, and each person has a voice. How are you feeling? What are you doing? You know, and that seems just encouraging. And we had a end of year Christmas get together at a restaurant, and it was interesting to see a number of them who had brought their other friends, and you could see that they had been together, but they came to the restaurant and they participated. You know, they were singing some songs that we didn't know of, because it was something that they clearly probably sang when they were in school. So I think my conclusion would be just we try and encourage them, respect them, and let them understand that their opinion matters. And I think that's where I'll leave it. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much, Kemi. Is that you or me?
It's you, Nee.
All right. Okay. So it's very, very important to put in, you know, succession planning in place, and, you know, the succession planning have got to be conducted in such a way that it is phased out. So the next contributor will be telling us about how to encourage the younger ones to remain within the alumni. And this person is an IT guru and is youngish. So his name is Rashid Adeshokon. So he's going to examine the issue of succession planning, how it's phased out. Rashid, are you on? Rashid? Okay, there might be a little bit of a hitch here and there.
Okay.
Because so maybe we
okay, that's fine. I wasn't allowed to unmute. That also happened.
All right.
Yeah, so sorry about that.
You're welcome, Rashid.
Thank you very much, everyone.
It's good to see your face after this long haul of not seeing you.
So basically, I would have appealed to the moderators to pass me by, because really the previous speakers, I felt like, you know, they haven't left anything untouched. But I will try as much as possible to do a little bit of justice to the topic we are looking at today. And I have a series.
By the way, what year were you? I mean, what year did you finish?
96, 97. Some of the things that, some of the problems, issues that have been highlighted, particularly by the last speaker, are things that you would normally expect, you know, the younger generations to face or go through. Because I remember when I joined the NSF, I had a bit of issue, relating with there was actually an event I attended, and at the time we went to having a dinner, time to eat, and then I had this very lovely alumnus standing next to me, and we were chatting because that's something I'm very, very good at. I open up, I communicate with people, but when it comes to the formality, I'm a little bit taken aback. So I asked this person was actually graduated the year I was born. Now, if you think about it, how do I, even to call people Kemi Nike is something that I find very, very difficult, if you get what I mean. I think that's more to do with our culture, really. The respect has to be there, like, people have said, no doubt about that. But I will appeal to the older, alumnus to relax that a little bit. It might be something that you are not doing on purpose, but still, it is happening. So maybe you need to, when we have an event, you guys should not, you oldies, don't just stay in one corner and be, mix up with everyone,
That's unique. They're talking to you guys.
At the end of the day, if you attended an event whereby I was just standing aloof all by myself, okay, because people were busy, discussing with each other, class and things like that. So I feel I should first of all, touch on that so that we can bear that in mind. Now, I've got a couple of questions. How do we bring alumni activities to the attentions of the younger generation? Now, what I would like to say is that there are two methods that I've identified, the direct and the indirect method. So basically, the indirect method is what is most common, what previous speakers have spoken about. And this was how I knew about Government College Ibadan Old Boys Association from distance, observing their presence and their actions when they, visited the school back in the days. And also seeing all the beautiful gifts, that they showered the school with, the gifts that, were being given to best, performing students. So these were indirect methods. That's, how I would like to classify, that. And now there is the direct method. Now, if you think about a self-determined student, the indirect method is all it takes to sell the love of the alma mater, to them and to get them to engage. But that's not enough. So as for the other category of students, we need to be both direct and, indirect with them. And by direct, I mean, it requires us to, when we come in contact with them, let's communicate with them, let's talk to them, talk to them like, oh, you missed the school environment. Let me give you an example. If I am, in the public and I felt like, oh, I saw someone who might be an old boy of GCI, all I, needed to say was up school. Okay, and when the person had up school, if there was no response, that means that person did not go to GCI. But if there was response, I mean, if the person attended GCI, wow, people on the streets will observe that, oh, these people really had something to do together, whereas we never knew each other. It was just by virtue of, attending that college, that very, very great college. And I'm not going to challenge Mr. Kogun on what is earlier. So, yeah. So you see,
everybody's challenging me. Okay.
So that's the indirect method. Let's communicate with them. We know Generation X, people, they do things, differently. And somebody wrote in the chat, let me have a look quickly, and said, hi, why would people in their 30s want to roll with people in their 50s and 60s? They want to roll with, all these different interests, mindset, and things like that. These are all true. But until we are able to, come over that, we'll make the younger ones to feel, because you are not going to have as many of them as the older ones in any alumni, group, because of the reasons that have been given, earlier. Now, how do we use social media to encourage youth to, attend?
You have one. You have 1 minute. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
as an alumni association, we need to have our social media presence, and we need to let the younger alumni know about it. Some of the ways, then use this is, by using the platform to assist them to find jobs, to promote networking, use it as a tool for answering, career questions and job-related questions. Mentorship is another thing, that would work. And for that, I've identified 2 types of mentorship as well. There is academic mentorship, and there is also the professional mentorship. Academic is whereby an alumni who is studying, at, any Nigerian university is mentoring current students, in the school. And then the professional mentorship is whereby people who have, graduated from, uni and are working are mentoring alumni of their alma mater who are still studying, at uni. If you think about that, you carry on, the commitment, and, you mentored somebody, they want to mentor, somebody else, and, you just carry on passing on the torch, like that. So that's the final thing I would like to say really is something I would like to leave, for every one of us to ponder upon. Now, let's think about our final year students. That is the moment when students will become, alumni, isn't it? After they finished, their final exams. Yeah?
Yes.
So now, if we write them a personalized letter, wishing them well for the future ahead, letting them know what to expect and how to prepare for it, informing them of the benefits they can derive from the Alumni Association, and more importantly, letting them know that we'll always be there for them should they need our help and support. Now, I put it to you guys, do we think this might also help or not? So on that note, I would like to end my contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Fantastic.
Rashid. A quick pointer, please. I am not Mr. Akogu. I am Akogu Niyi Kuku.
Noted, sir.
All right.
Akogun. Okay, thank you so much, Rashid. That was fantastic. Do we have Tokumbo Oderinde on?
She is on, yes.
Okay. Hi, Tokumbo. Can you spotlight her, please?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm here.
Okay.
How you doing?
We're good. Do you want to take it away, Tokumbo?
Well, I mean, everybody that has contributed have mentioned everything that needs to be mentioned. Particularly Rashid, he's mentioned, he sort of touched on mentoring and how we can affect and get more people on board, the younger ones. My contribution is, I mean, I have the privilege, of actually doing a set, how will I put it, a presentation at the at the Social Secretary Summit. And one of the things I talked about was communication and obviously active listening and trying to get feedback. Now, respect, you have to be respected, and also the younger ones have to be respected. Now, from the Reagan point of view, we have all these things in place. We have platforms, America, we have platforms, WhatsApp, we have Facebook pages, we have our constitution, we have Reaganite platforms, which is open to every Reaganite. Now, one key thing that I would have to say to summarize one of the things I'm going to be saying is you need to be able to encourage our younger ones. We have to be also, selling the benefits. A lot of people have said that. And you need to sell the benefits of what the alumni is all about. Now, I am privileged enough to sit on the Reagan Memorial Baptist Girls School Board. So I cut across all the set groups because we did our Founders Day a few weeks back, and believe you me, we had a Nigerian chapter, Ruga Nigerian chapter. They had their Founders Day. You have quite a number of people on that platform that celebrated virtually. We had the USA did the same thing. We had our Ruga UK. We did the same thing. Now it's all about selling the benefits of what the alumni are doing. And I quite like some of the things that Rashid said about mentoring. I know that we have to sort of sell best practice. Holy Child, I mean, and I'm going to be nicking their idea, they do a lot of mentoring, i.e. having their old student mentor the students from year one all the way. And this is something that we're going to have to adopt from, I'm going to be selling this for us to adopt it. So if you adopt, it's kind of like adopting a few students under your wing by selling the benefits. Because I mean, Rashid did say engaging, you have the professional one, and also while you're doing the engagement with them, selling the benefits of what the alumni does through our projects, through some of the things that we do, and also encouraging them that, look, when you finish the secondary school, these are the things that it's like paying it forward, as they've said. Paying it forward, these are the things that you need to do. Now, I am very, very visible. I have that great relationship with our principal, with the board, and I sell the benefits. So it's the little things. So for example, we just did we were one of the schools that participated in the submitting the NSF school essays, the Queen's essays. And I was able to engage with the students themselves, right? To sort of encourage them to sort of put in their essays on time. I went through the English teacher to be able to encourage all the students. So when I go to the school, they already know that, oh man, I want to participate in some of these. They'll be asking me questions. So therefore, they know that Rogo UK is doing something that actually connects them. So it's all about the connection. You have to have that connection with the students and sell the benefits of what we are doing. Now, everybody, in terms of Rogo UK, we always do projects upon projects. And we go back to the school, we give back, we're always visible. So that alone encourages them. Now, the thing about what Abob said in terms of the social media, you have to sort of try as much as possible to, I know a lot of the younger ones, they do Snapchat. So get with the program. I'm not very IT creative. And I was looking at, there's this project that I'm doing in terms of our sports day, coming up soon. And I know that I have a bit of I'm not very well connected in terms of the IT world. And what did I do? I started calling the people, the subject matter experts that will be helping me. So you bring all these people together, you listen here and there to get the best out of them. And you connect with other schools. So for example, I connected with Holy Child, for example, because they do good stuff with their students. And I will sort of share my own, what we do in Regan, we share it with them, and then you bring it back home and then you connect. So basically we'll be looking at encouraging, right? Engaging, you encourage, you engage the people, you effect, and then you connect. So i.e. you'll be going back and forth to ensure that people get it. And you don't get frustrated as well. Because sometimes, you're trying to, we have a Reganite platform, and we have approximately over 100 people on it. And it's open to the younger ones as well. And every time, like we're old school. I'm young at heart, but I'm old school. But one way or the other, I try to sort of learn what the younger ones would expect from us. So active listening to their ideas so you can implement it in your strategy will ensure that they're being carried along. And I know that sometimes if I don't know what I'm doing, sometimes I'll just quickly send a message to Abom. Abom, come on, what do we do here? Because she's too IT, she's an IT guru in her own right. So she will share her ideas and she will try and implement it. So it's all about engaging the younger ones on what they like to do, as well as selling the benefits of your alumni. So when you do all that, you connect. So it's all about connection, getting the best ideas, getting the best abilities from these younger ones, because they have brilliant ideas. And I think it was Gladys that mentioned things like, like magazines and, selling the benefits of your school and everything that they do in Methodist Girls. Yeah, fantastic. But you have to keep at it. no break. Because sometimes you say, okay, I'm trying all these different things, newsletters and all that, but I'm not really getting the results. You have to keep going, because the time span, you know, like for the younger ones, they get bored easily. So you need to sort of get activities that will engage them. And in doing that, you get there, you build their trust, so you can keep them long term, and then you can hand over the baton to them.
Okay, you have less than 1 minute, Tokumbo.
That is basically, in summary, all I'll have to say is engage, all right, encourage,
engage,
all right,
effect, and then connect.
And connect.
Correct.
That's it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Bye.
I know Tokumbo can talk. Tokumbo can talk to you tomorrow if given the chance.
Kogu, don't start.
No, I'm not starting. I know you, my sister. Yes.
Right,
Dayo.
Yes.
The next person we have, the next session that we have, are we going to take a break or are we going to continue?
No, we're going to continue. We're running slightly over.
Yes, okay. On that note, the last session actually examines the importance of youth in the life of the alumni community or any organization. And we have two distinguished guests to do this. Pardon us for not doing the bio for other presenters. It's just important that, you know, we give a bit of bio of the next two speakers. And the first person that's going to take the floor is Mrs. Maureen Okela. Maureen is an artist, a designer, author, and a media entrepreneur. Well, she started out at age 11 selling artworks and helping out in her grandma's retail business. Doing this provided Maureen with an early introduction into the adaptability, the hard work, and communication skills that she possesses. Now, Maureen stepped into the classroom 34 years ago. Sorry, Maureen, you know, I just have to tell about you. As a graduate teacher specializing in art, coaching and mentoring, and then since then, she has interacted with over 1,000 young people, both in and out of the classroom. Now, her work with young people has provided her with an understanding of what is important to young people. In 2014, together with 4 children, Maureen founded Mighty Millennial, which is an organization that provides training services for professional and then personal coaching for 18 to 20-year-olds. She also, you know, co-founded the Winners Network, which is a creative media and training company for women in business and startup organizations. So I welcome you, Maureen. Well, Mrs. Okela.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Nikuku. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today. And first and foremost, I just want to thank Daya Konde as well, and especially to Tola, who's invited me to this special event. And I know we all know that there's a reason why we're all gathered here today. And it's all about our young people. Okay, so I'm going to start with a quote. And the quote goes, it's by Francis Bacon. And it says, young people are fitter to invent than judge, fitter for execution than counsel, are more fit for new projects than for settled business. So in other words, what he's saying is that young people are full of more energy, they have better ideas, and we need to use them. All right. So what we're talking about today is about how to engage our younger people in our alumni, but not only in an alumni, but also in wider context like in jobs, in society in general. So while we going through this discussion today, so everybody has talked about so many different things. We all have very brilliant ideas, but there's a reason why we're all gathered today, and it's because I know when we first started, some people said they're young at heart, but the reason why we're gathered today is because we need to pass the baton on. Many of us are in our 50s and our 60s, and we need to, as Akogu said before, we need that succession strategy. So we need to hand over to younger people. And it could also be that younger people are asking to be involved. You know, it might be that they're making some kind of noise and trying to tell us that, yeah, we are here and we need to be involved. There's a magazine I read online when I was just thinking about this, and it was a statement made from, it has a statement made from Buhari, President Buhari of Nigeria, and it was concerning a group called Not Too Young to Run. So this is a political group made of young people below the age of 30, and what he said to them is that they shouldn't even bother to come out to prepare until 2023 because we're too young. All right. And then it also brings me to, I'll ask myself that, is this an African thing or what? Somebody talked about showing respect and calling people senior or what, that kind of thing. I know, yes, that's our culture in Nigeria. You have to call people older than you senior or sister or brother. But the Nigerian culture has it in such a way that children are meant to be quiet. They're meant to be seen, not heard. Okay? So as we are gathered here today, it might be subconsciously that we are projecting this culture. Because I've noticed that in so many different alumni, there's hardly any young people. And apart from all the reasons that everybody has given today about young people being or childbearing age and all those other things, but there's still a space for them in alumni. So this will bring me to my last event, because I'm privileged to be an old girl of LAGS, like Lagos Anglican Girls Grammar School, and of MGHS as well. And we had an event a couple of weeks ago. And we in the planning committee for that event were all in our 50s or maybe late 40s as well. And it was quite a productive event. There were over 80 people. And what the event was about was that each person would have to introduce themselves and say something about where they live or their business or something. So we were running out of time. We couldn't go through 80 people. So at one point, we just had to stop. So I made an announcement to say, no more introductions. And then out of the blue, I heard somebody's voice say, oh, hang on there. You have to introduce me as well. I need to talk. So by the time we went we gave her a chance to talk. And by the time we finished the whole event and we reflect on everything, I discovered that she was a 25-year-old, maybe 20.
Wow.
Yeah. So what she was saying there was that it had happened before, and that she and her friends want to take part. They want to be part of the alumni activities, but they get kicked back. Yeah. So it could be happening that when they come and they see us 50-year-olds running things, they would be, with that African culture in mind, they will sit back and look on. Because my children, I have 4 children, and my children tell me sometimes, that mom, you and your friends, you're so out there, you're so loud, you're so brash, that kind of thing. So when that happens, they just look, because they're like, why are they doing this at this age? So it could be something that we are projecting as well, because we can all say that we're doing all sorts of things to attract young people, but I never knew that there was anybody who was 25 years old in the LAGS alumni until that day. Okay, so they're not seen. So that's the reason why we're here today, to make sure that they're seen. So everybody has talked about different reasons. We have all described who young people are. But for me, currently I work with children aged 16 to 25. And there's Generation Z, as one of our speakers has said. Generation Z are children who are 12 years old to 25 years old. They're the digital children. And they're the millennials from 25 up to 40. So we need to know who we are attracting. I think we should attract both generations, both groups. We invite the Generation Z, we attract them, and we attract the millennials as well. Okay, so what is the solution to this? So I will also go on to the importance of attracting younger people to our alumni. As we all know, our own generation, 50s and above, or whatever, 40s, we all came from Nigeria, right, as immigrants. And when we came to this country, because sometimes I tell my children that I feel that you're not confident enough, you're laid back, you are not like how we were when we came. So their generation is different from ours. My children are in their 20s, the youngest is 21. So what I'm saying now is that when we came, we had to survive. We were in a rough terrain. We didn't know where we were going. We didn't know anybody, but we had to survive. We had to take care of our children. We had young children, and we had to survive. So if anybody had even called me then to say there was an alumni somewhere, I would have said, sorry, let that hang somewhere. Because I'm focusing on building my family, on building myself and protecting my children. I'm probably homeless. I probably don't have money. I'm looking for work. I'm probably a student with children. I'm working at the same time with a husband, or probably have relationship problems. There's so many things that are involved when people are in that age group. So with these things in mind, and with everything that's happening around the world, there's so many distractions on the internet. This generation are the most depressed. So they are the most, you'll find mental health illness amongst the generation. They commit suicide, or they cut themselves. They do all sorts of things like that. So this generation. So when the other speaker was talking about training and mentoring, those are the main issues that we should be looking at to attract them. And then another important thing is that young people in this generation are very, very intelligent. They're very intelligent, they have fresh ideas, and they think outside the box. So while I'm sitting down there and I'm trying to learn something like video editing or something like that, my son will just come and say, he's never done it before. He knows what to do. So they have all these ideas and they're fast. So that's why we need to use them. They're also invigorating. They have endless creativity. They are knowledgeable. So they knew all these things happening around the world. This news of Black Lives Matter, I didn't have to watch any TV. My children had all the information on where to find it, where to get it, what was happening.
That's true.
Yeah. So, and they're also gurus, whatever area they're studying, they're gurus on IT. They know how to use social media. So if you want to get them, don't get them, you can't get them on WhatsApp. They will not reply. They will not talk back to you, except you call them. So you have to be personal with them, because there's so many things happening around the world and are distracting them. So if your idea is not mind-blowing, you will not see them. You will not hear from them. So I'll give you an example of that. My daughter went to a day party, because I've been trying, like I have the millennial group where I try to encourage them, and sometimes they're quiet, sometimes they're talking. So she said she was so excited with her friends, and they were going to the day party. And I said, what's a day party? And she said, oh, Mom, it's on a roof terrace. I said, yeah. Is it during the day? She said, yes. I said, the sun is up. He said, yes. And they're outside in the sunshine. And she said, there are over 500 people in the party. And they're there from 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. Wow. So I'm thinking, what is attracting all these young people to that kind of environment? It's something new. It has to be new. So new things attract them, because there's so much on social media they're seeing. So it has to be something different, absolutely different, something that will grab their attention and keep them engaged.
You have 1 minute. You have 1 minute.
All right. So another thing is that we know that in the education atmosphere, the bar has been raised regarding their education. So these people are disempowered. They've gone through a system where, so we have to separate the children or the alumni in Nigeria from the alumni here. We're different. So the ones here need to be empowered, because they've gone through this discrimination and everything in schools, everything, all those kind of things that happen. So they need training, they need skills, they need us to support them. And most importantly, as the last speaker said, we need rapport with them. So we have to ask them what they like, what their interests are. We need to be flexible with our events. So maybe online events, so that the people with young children, they can join in, because that's what happened at the last event. Also, we need to ask them exactly what they want. Like, okay, what do you want? What kind of events or activities do you want? Let's bring in their families, their children, their husbands, everybody. Let them come in and let them be part of everything they are doing. And another thing is that millennials, they need results. So they only see things in numbers. So if you want them to do something, you have to show them the results. This is how much we have made. They're not really interested in what the alumni is doing or what they're doing for the alumni. They're interested in the numbers. They're interested in how they will benefit, because this generation, they're the pocket money generation. You have to give them pocket money for them to wash plates. So you have to tell them that you have to tell them what they're going to benefit. You are going to get 50 pounds or 5 pounds, whatever. You have to tell them that. So for Generation Z, they are not.
Please conclude, sis.
Yeah, okay, I'm concluding now. So for Generation Z, those are the 12 to 25-year-olds. Those ones, they're not really into rewards. They're very laid back. So everything's about urgency. So you have to be urgent with them. You have to tell them that they're needed. And then all together, you need to reward them with their achievements. So probably going on Snapchat to reward them, or going on their Instagram where they are to reward them and talk to them. So it's all about talking and listening to what they want. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are running later than I thought. I am sorry. So there are probably some aspects of the program that we might have to forego so that we can finish on time. I'm going to introduce the next speaker, who is Ade Omoba, MBE. He is actually from my alumni. Ade has been a full-time social entrepreneur and public campaigner in Christian ministry in the UK for over 32 years. He's the co-founder of several organizations, among which are the Christian Victory Group, through which he's helped set up over 100 social action and inclusion projects in the last 28 years. Christian Concern, a UK campaign group on public policy. You would have seen Christian Concern on the BBC every now and then. The Christian Legal Center, which addresses Christian liberty cases, and the National Church Leaders Forum, a Black Christian voice. He's a member of the leadership team of Hope Together, which is an organization seeking to resource and equip the church for local missions. He's also a member of the apostolic team of Connection Trust, a global network of churches, and an oversight member of the New Life Assembly. Ade was awarded an MBE in the Queen's New Year's Honours List in 2019. Please welcome Ade.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Akwanguni and Dayo for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Maureen, for your input there. And thank you to Tunde, Abum, Gladys, Kemi, Rashid, and Tokumbo for all your contributions and the schools that you represent. I always count this a privilege, not a right. In all the years I've done this, I thank you for the privilege of being able to be with you. And I've learned so much listening to everyone there, and I wouldn't want to repeat what people have said because some of them are things I wanted to share. But what I would like to home in on is just the issue around young people and youths. And I say that because it's the general mindset and the set minds about youths and youthfulness generally that is our problem. The major problem I've found is most of my work is around young people, you know, and I've realized over the years that the mindset and the set minds need to change, regardless of whether it's an alumni or anything else. I speak as someone who started my own entrepreneurial journey in my very, very early 20s. And I have been at it now, like, you know, almost 3.5 decades. And also understanding the pressure and pain of not having a consistent older or wiser hand to guide me along the way. So I understand a lot of what I'm hearing as you all speak about young people. However, in my view, the true origin of an alumni is rooted at the heart of youthfulness that seeks to engage with its formative journey of life and to preserve the same in order to help the next generation have both a memorable and progressive experience as well. And I like to always use something that I learned in scriptures as I try to merge the Old Testament and the New Testament and how they relate to each other. And this helps me a lot with young people and, as it were, the older generation. I always say that comparing the old and the new, I will say that the old is the new revealed and the new is the old concealed. And that's how you look at the Old Testament and the New Testament. However, I can bring it in another way, more practically, whereby as we, the older generation, speak and engage with our own here and now, we're actually declaring what we desire and hope for the future, either consciously or unconsciously. And so, as it were, as we are revealing what the future or the new will be, we are in so many ways a shadow of what is to come. As a result of such desire for a brighter future, we must engage and invest in that future now. So the older generation are the new revealed. When that future and the new that we hoped for, declared and invested in, manifest, we become concealed in them. In other words, our legacy lives on in them as they go on to do greater than we did. And so the new generation are the old concealed. You know, and being a Christian, I learned that Jesus peaked and poured out into his successors, both at the beginning of his adult life and at his peak, and not at the end of his assignment. And whilst we are at our peak, we must begin to seek our successors and invest in them for the future. If we really appreciate what we have, then we must show it with our substance. Otherwise, we depreciate what we have. And that's why I use this quote all the time of mine, that appreciation without substantiation is depreciation. If you will not use your substance, if you will not use your substance to appreciate the next generation, you basically depreciate them. And I've learned that in my own journey. And like Maureen said, I gather at any given time, I'll have 500, 25 to late 30s that I mentor in different ways. And when I open up to meet them many times in a year, it only takes 2 weeks and I have to shut it down because I just don't have enough room to take them all. And in any time they gather, there's only 2% repeat visitors. It's always new. And with those, I pour so much into them. And I've been doing, and because if I don't change my mindset about seeing that they are my future, they are the future of whatever we believe we want to see, then we're not investing in them, then we don't really appreciate that future. And by putting so much of my investment in them, I also tell them, even whilst they are in their 25 to late 30s, to begin to also do the same to the younger ones than they are. And I'm sharing practical things with you. I have some of them now that gather hundreds and hundreds of 18 to 24-year-olds who are in university, and I join with them on different mentorship schemes that we give them. And like you heard already, I don't want to repeat some of the things. Everything you've all said is so key. You need to understand where you are. You need to come to their level. You need to relate to them, and you need to be able to embrace that they're in a different sphere from where you are. I always say that a successful man without a successor is a failure. And if we're going to be successful, then where are our successors? We need to invest in that. As an alumni, our greatest asset is the access to an institution with young people that we can engage with added value that will inspire them to pursue their full potential and see their alumni as a necessity to join and support. The school is a gift to us, any alumni that you are, where you have a huge minefield, a huge one that you can tap into. You know, I'm not in Nigeria, but if I was living in Nigeria, one place you will see me a lot is my old school. I just see it as a minefield that I can go on a regular basis and just pour into it. It's hard if I'm there pouring into them so much for them not to want to connect with what I belong to. And somebody said it's about that connectivity, engagement. It's almost like when I read scriptures and it says, tend my sheep, feed my sheep. How do you feed and tend people you don't engage with? It takes engagement to be able to feed properly and tend properly. And it's so important that mindset is the same thing we have with our schools that we have. And data, that is another thing. We need to encourage to build the data of the alumni, because that gives you access to so much in the world of industry. Data is money. You can create all manners of discount cards for your different school alumni. That is an added value to the young people. There's so many companies that I will say, look, we have a database of about maybe, a few 100,000. Wow. I know industries that will immediately say, please, can we come to an arrangement whereby we give your people discounts if they buy tickets from us, whether to shows or airlines. We need to build that membership and have those business mindsets as well, because that gets our young people going. And I do those things as well because I know those things attract them. It's so important to try the best that we where we can to have most of our alumni activities within the school, in the place whereby we engage, so that from whilst they're in school, someone said that earlier on, they can see the added value that is a necessity. I can't wait to be a member of my alumni. And that way you will see that the membership. And then the other thing is, please, you just have to separate the different age groups. I know you want to try and bring us all together. There are times we all come together and do things together, but in most parts, you have to find things within the alumni that fit certain age groups at times, because that way they know that they are catered for within the holistic picture of what you do.
You have 1 minute.
Yeah, I would want to finish by saying that for every single one of you, that you are primed for such a time as this to minister to that next generation. And I always use that because I once challenged the Prime Minister here in a meeting we have, questioned, and I was challenged to say that the way I spoke to the Prime Minister, don't I realize is the Prime Minister of the nation? I wasn't rude, I was just being clear that I'm here for a reason as well. And the person said, but he's the Prime Minister of Great Britain. I said, he might be the Prime Minister of Great Britain, but he's not the only one primed to minister to Great Britain. And I'm saying to every single one of you, you are primed in your sphere to do something for that next generation. The mindset has to be right. Otherwise, we will not get it right.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Ade Omoba. That is, you brought so many quotes, and in fact, very, very enlightening, all the things that you've said. And if you don't mind, I'll borrow some of your quotes to use elsewhere. Am I allowed?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Yeah, over to you, Dio, please.
Okay, thank you. Just make a donation to the Landers alumni. Just saying.
Dio, you have money.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We have a question and answer session, and we'd actually primed 20 minutes to take these. I don't think we'll be able to do that anymore. I know that there's some things going on within the chat, but there is one person that I want to call on to just answer a quick question. So is Adejoke Hastrop around? Please unmute yourself. So Ade Hastrop is the newest president of Government College Ojo Old Students Association. Is Adejoke Hastrop around?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes,
okay. Ade, I'm going to give you 30 seconds as you take over as president, the newest president in town. What are you going to do to encourage the young ones? It will have to be 30 seconds. I'm really, really sorry.
All right, 30 seconds. I'm just going to give you 3 quotes. Okay. The first one, right? The only true wisdom is knowing that you know nothing.
Wow.
Starting point. Second quote, without trust, most things aren't possible. The third quote, nothing works better than just improving your product. And I'm going to leave it at that. That's my synopsis.
Congratulations again on being president.
Thank you.
Wow, congratulations, Ade.
Thanks.
Well done.
Okay, so we're going to go to the question and answer session. Nee.
Well, do we have, or is there any NSF, is there any rep from NSF with a view on whether younger members play a part in decision making? I'm not trying to put anybody on the spot because I've seen that, our leaders are here. So if they have any contribution, that they can just give us sharp. Well, Bros Beam. Hello. Shala.
Anyone? Okay, we
Anybody?
can come back to them.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, okay. There we go. There's one person.
Talking, but I'm not an NSF executive. But just going back to what Tokuma said on how Holy Child has been able to engage the younger ones, is selling the benefit, giving them awards for attending meetings, and letting them have a say at meetings, and giving out as much information about the meeting and making it as flexible for them as we can. So that's how we've been able to co-opt them and retain them in the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Lighter, Iyo, do you have anything to say? Bros Beam, Babaride. Okay. Well, do we have anybody, raising up on their hands?
Actually, we can ask the hosts monitoring the chats to see if there are any questions for any of the contributors. Where is Olu Dada?
Olu Bouncer.
Olu Bouncer.
Hi, everybody. So, yeah, I mean, this has been quite great. When this all started off, it was just really looking at what Adi Omaba said, looking for our successor, who's going to take over. I keep on talking with Tola and saying, who's going to do this when I hand down my job as a social secretary? And that's really what's brought this all on. We have a question for Tokumbo here, and let me just dig this question out. So it's from Bolanle from MGSC. She says, please ask Tokumbo if they will be monitoring the whole school or selective in their choice. What method are they going to adopt? And that question is to Tokumbo or Deridi.
Well, are you talking about the mentoring?
Yes, that's right.
Right, basically the mentoring scheme will be advertised. This is something new. It's something that MG does and they do very well. So I just started talking to the to some of the Methodists. I think I spoke to the president, and they were telling me how they do their mentoring program, where you have old students will be paired up with young students from the beginning of the year. So obviously, and then they mentor them all the way, and then you build the trust. And that's something that I'm going to be taking to the Baptist Mission Board to discuss that, because I mean, we had a meeting yesterday to discuss that. They were all for it, whereby I'll have to sort of get the old students that are interested. So we have to do a bit of advertising, engage with the students, and like Ade Omoba said, it's really about visibility. So once we engage, we have a list of mentors, and then we'll get people to actually write in, and we can sort of get some mentees that way. So it's something, it's a work in progress that we're looking at doing. And I'm going to tap into how Holy Child does it, and it works for them. We'll see if we can sort of adopt similar approach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have another question here from Amosun Adeni, Methodist Girls High School. And she's asking, perhaps we could ask the younger members what they expect from their alumni.
Is that the question for me as well?
No, sorry, Tom. No, that's a general question that was been in the chat.
Perhaps the person who finished in 98 can answer that question, or 96. That was the youngest person that we had. Or Rashid. Nice. Rashid might take that. Rashid, can you take that question?
Expectation. Well, there is so much we can do. I believe most of what we would expect from our senior alumni has been said. And I'll use very quickly. You see, like the second to the last speaker, said, when she broke down the characteristics of Generation Z and X, it's absolutely correct. You see, for us in our group, we have our own, WhatsApp group. We have our own things that we do apart from the national body, and we are results driven. We want to see what you guys, what people are doing for the school. That's what we are most concerned about. If you contribute £100,000, we want to make sure that at least 70,000 of that goes to the school, to the students, not to some, celebration parties and things like that. So in terms of expectation, we want to see you do more. Like my school, we employ teachers to teach the students because we know most of the schools are not adequately equipped with competent teachers. So we employ teachers, Alumni Association, Government College of Ibadan employ teachers, and I can tell you authoritatively that results have improved. So that is just one expectation that I can say we are expecting from alumni.
Okay.
That answers the question.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any more? We can probably take two more.
So, hi Dayo. Hi Dayo. How are you?
Can I just chip in?
Can I go on?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I was going to say that the young old students should be reorientated to see the alumni group as a group that is meant to help their old schools. No, I mean you can't get. It's not as if you're going to get anything. What the kind of services we render are just what I would call labor of love. Yeah, nobody's going to pay you for being a member. That's the way I see it. They must be reorientated to take pride in their schools. For us in CMS Grammar School, I mean any old boy is just willing to be a part of the OGS because right from school you are being reorientated to see yourself as an old boy, eventually where you live as an old grammarian. So I think the orientation has to be that nobody is going to give you any money or anything for being a part of your old student, of your group. You are to render services. You are to while at the same time having fun. We are meant to render services, and the services we're meant to render, it's for the growth of the school. So I think each of these schools, each of these alumni groups should try as much as possible to reorientate their young old boys to take pride. First of all, to take pride in having attended that school, so that they can become a part of the group that's helping the school to grow, that's giving back to the school. That's the way we see it in CMS Grammar School. We don't persuade anybody to join us. It's just, it comes to every grammarian, it's a natural thing. You just flow into it.
Okay, thank you.
It is with us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Do we have any other questions?
Well, I have a contribution, if you don't mind. I'm going to make it very quick. Will that be okay?
All right. I was going to call on you as well. So you took the words out of my mouth. Okay.
Yeah, my name is Joseph Ladipo, DJ Joseph Lad, St. Gregory's College, Old Boys. I am the current event secretary, what you might call social secretary, and I believe this gathering has got more social secretaries than any other ESCO members, and the onus of bridging this gap, that's the phrase I use for it, is on us. I made my main point of campaigning for my last election, I won, bridging the gap between the younger old boys and the fairly more elderly old boys. I mean, it doesn't matter what year you are, if you've left school, you are an old boy or an old girl. Now, and some of the things that I have put in my agenda, which I've started implementing before Corona came in, was stuff like monthly intersect social gatherings. The young ones are more sociable than us. They are more sociable. You will find that a lot of them don't participate in our forums and meetings and all that, but they socialize. They meet together and they socialize on their own level. So I'm trying to include monthly interstate social gatherings, whereby you would say a core set will host it this month and another set will host it the next month. That will encourage participation. So because it will not be just one set, other sets will be actively involved. Another thing that I will nick from this gathering, this forum, is the monthly birthday celebrations, which I have noticed the past 2 months, and I've been very impressed with the way Tola and the group and other members of the association have organized it. So we can say, if your birthday is on the month of June, at the end of June, we'll have a monthly birthday party, irrespective whether you are a senior old boy or a junior old boy. Another thing, intersect games and quiz and debate activities or indoor activities. I am getting on for outdoor activities. I don't want to go and run with anybody, and I won't be able to wake up for the next 2 to 3 weeks. But indoor activities are fine. We can have games like draft, Ludo, chess, a lot of things like that, which we can use to bring people together. I believe the more social activities we do, the more the younger ones will be interested in what we're doing.
I'm going to give you 10 seconds. I'm really, really sorry because we are running out of time.
That's okay. I mean, I have quite a lot. I will round up now, but I'm quite happy to share my views on the platform, on the forum. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We had a session where we were supposed to summarize the key points. I don't think that is necessary. I think the quotes. I think the quotes encourage, engage, effect, and connect. Appreciation without substantiation is depreciation. God, there's a lot of shuns. I think that would do.
A successful man without a successor is a failure.
Absolutely.
Dio, I was going to mention that after a meeting like this, what we refer to as a communique, that should be a communique that we will take to our various schools, various alumni here. Maybe it has to be prepared and sent to those of us who have participated, so that we can get it across to our alumni sets or groups.
Okay. We will do that. We will look into that.
All right.
And yes, that's a very good point.
Okay.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you. We always intended to capture some form of notes, and also we are recording this session. So hopefully the conversations and the discussions must continue. It shouldn't end here. You take it back to your organizations, you take it back to your homes, you take it back to your alumni, so that these conversations can continue. I am really, really sorry. I am going to have to pull this to a close. I want to call on Florence to give us the vote of thanks, please.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'd like to thank God for today, for keeping us alive, and all of us staying safe, hale and hearty. I'd also like to thank the planners, the moderators, the people that gave us the encourage, engage, effects, and connect. And also all of us that were actively listening to this presentation. You know, we need to give ourselves a pat on the back. Well done, because it's not easy to engage people for 2 hours. I think there are about 35 schools there, and I'm sure we can still engage more people by the NSF platform. Also, I'd like to give a big up hand to Tola Ayeni, who is the one that is always, even sometimes at unsociable hours, I must say, she is still sending out text and WhatsApp messages.
I know, right?
Just for the success of this, presentation. So thank you to every one of us that sat down, that listened, that contributed and coordinated and moderated. Thank you, everybody. That's me. Peace out.
Thank you. There is a feedback survey. The link, I think the link will be posted in the chat. Can someone just confirm that that's going to happen? or will it be sent separately? It's important that we get feedback so that we can be better next time. So if it can be put in the chat, otherwise we will find a way to send it to you. Nee, do you have anything else to say? We have 2 minutes.
Oh, well, I just want to say a very, very massive thank you to you, Dio, because you are the engine room. Well, Tola started it off, but you are the actual engine room of this session, you know, because you pulled me from nowhere, and you did massively well. I thank you so much, and I thank everybody that has come and participated, in this event, and hope that the next one that we'll do, we'll have more people joining as well. So thank you very much, everybody. And I say a big thank you to God Almighty, Father God, for letting this happen and happen successfully well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. This is a team effort. This is a team effort. Special thanks to Bumi, who pulled together the promos and marketing, the contributors, to Olu, Dada, and Tayo, and everyone. I apologize if I miss your name out. I appreciate the work that you do. I am sorry that we had to cut the evening short. However, we said we will finish at 9, and it is now 9 o'clock. So thank you all so very much for your time. Until next time, be safe, good night, and have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. Can I please ask the planning team to wait behind for 2 minutes, please?
I've shared the link on the chat for the.
Oh, yes, I saw it actually. Yes, I did see it.
It's 1-0 football. Hey. Hey. I'm just itching. Yeah. Who is frying dodo? Or is it puff puff?
Okay.
Bouncer, you're always talking about food and just to oppress people.
He's always doing this. Whatever it is, it's going to be good. And we won't
I hope you guys remember that we are the June people, so get your dodos ready because he likes dodo. Okay, so we're just waiting for a few people to exit and then we'll talk for 2 minutes. I'm sure it's been a long, long day. I know we all want to rest, but we have, we still have Tunde Tabi and Olumide on. We got Nikki Taylor. Right. So I'm probably just going to remove people now. Okay.
Could you give me a second to go to the little girl's room? Sorry.
Gotta
do what you
yes.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
We can talk about her now she's gone.
So there are just about 6 of us left here.
Into devices.
Tayo.
Yeah, because I had problem with connection with one.
All right, that's fine.
So I had to join with another.
Right, I'm going to stop recording now. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.